In the Impact segment tonight, would Donald Trump be able to achieve his immigration goals if he wins the White House? Early in the campaign, Bill O'Reilly pressed Trump on whether his proposals could actually happen.
I think you're right about the wall. I think you're wrong about the mass deportations and going into families. I think they have to be held accountable, and I think they have to be registered, and they have to go through the process. But I can't possibly see how the courts, the federal courts, are going to allow federal agents to kick doors in and drag people out, especially when their kids are American citizens. Last word.
I don't believe it'll be done that way. It'll be done in a very humane way, and they'll come back in, and they'll be legal, and people will be happy, and we'll have a country again.
But more than a year after that exchange, will Trump show a change of heart on mass deportations in his speech tonight? Joining us now to analyze from Washington, Alfonso Aguilar, president of the Latino Partnership for Conservative Principles, and with us in studio, Michael Wilds, an immigration attorney. Mr. Aguilar, let's talk about this. You think he can achieve the wall? I think he's outlined with President Peña Nieto, but also the mass deportations. I think a lot of people are waiting to hear what he has to say about the 11 or 12 million illegals here. What does he do with them?
Well, let me first address the wall. First of all, there's already legislation, the Secure Fence Act, which ironically Hillary Clinton voted for. She says she wants to build bridges, not walls. Well, she voted for a bill that calls for the building of not one wall, but two walls. So she's being hypocritical about that. In terms of the undocumented, from the very beginning, he said he would allow people to go back to their home country, and then the good people, those without criminal record, would be able to come back quickly. The question is if in his speech he's going to open himself to the idea of allowing those people, instead of having to go back to their home country, to actually touch back, if you will, in an embassy or consulate within the United States, regularized within the United States. So it would be a slight adjustment from what he has said before. Sure. It's a changing tone, but not a major flip-flop, as some people are trying to say.
Let's bring in Michael Wilds. Do you agree with the wall, that the wall can, physical barrier wall can be built?
First, thank you for having me. For transparency's sake, I've acted on behalf of Donald Trump's Trump Models and the Miss Universe organization. I'm an avid supporter of Secretary Clinton. Look, I think a lot of what Mr. Trump is trying to accomplish, truthfully...
You're on both sides of the wall.
Yeah, but I'm transparent.
Okay, go ahead. So the wall.
Unrealistic, un-American, unpopular. Unrealistic to think that we can take that terrain and put that money and resource into it. That there's going to be a touchback. We have mechanisms in the law.
Well, that's deportation. Let's deal with this for a little bit.
We have mechanisms right now in the law, Eric, that would allow people to touch back. People do not have the same rights at American embassies. We don't want to overwhelm consulates and embassies, and it's not practical. We're supposed to be building bridges, not walls, and we should be looking for ways to find greater business opportunities. So you're saying that you cannot document 12 million undocumented? There aren't enough handcuffs, airplanes, beds to remove them.
I want to get to Mr. Aguilar in one sec, but I have to let our audience understand something. Under Obama, there's been 3 million deportations, but the vast majority of them aren't physically people in the country forced to leave and come back in. They're stopped at the border. So if that's a deportation, why couldn't Donald Trump's version or Mr. Aguilar's version of a deportation be you get to an embassy, you fill out the paperwork, you've been deported?
A hallmark of immigration policy and law, and I'm a professor on this, and a second-generation immigration lawyer, is simply family reunification and the spiriting of our economy through our immigrants. You're not going to break up families, have Americans deport neighbors, and then unfuel and kill an economy that's righting itself finally. Immigration is one of the most useful tools we have, and we have to get this right.
Mr. Aguilar, what about this? What about, I don't know, maybe doubling or tripling our legal immigration system? Right now we take in about 1 million. Make it 2 or 3 million.
No, look, I think the problem that we have is that we have a system that doesn't recognize that from time to time we need foreign workers. So we should allow, if an American company cannot find American workers, they should be able to bring in the foreign workers that they may need. But the Democrats historically have opposed that. But at this point, nobody's really talking about that. We're talking really about the undocumented. But to be fair to Mr. Trump, he's already said that he doesn't want to deport every single undocumented immigrant. He's saying we're going to deport those with criminal records. Those who have no criminal record will stay here.
Very
So
quick,
we're going to have to
quick
wait.
response, and I got to go. Go ahead.
There are about 5,000 ICE agents, about 300 immigration judges. 11 million people has been bantered about for at least a decade. Assuming there's about 15 million people and not enough resource to remove them.
President Obama got 3 million.
And it's not within the hospitality mantra of our founding fathers. We have to come up with proper solutions.
Michael and Steve, thank you very much. Got to leave it right there. Up next, the potential political fallout, not the policy, but the political fallout from Donald Trump's immigration speech tonight, with two top experts weighing in right after this.